All right, so I was doom scrolling, as we all do, on Instagram the other day, and I bumped into this post by a guitarist called Ella Fangle, I hope I'm saying that name right, that was talking about this inverted tuning. Let's call it, like the traditional guitars, like classical guitars, would call the first string the closest to the floor, so to speak. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just not to confuse things with E's and A's and G's and B's and stuff like that. So the first string usually is the high E. Now that's the low E. So I'm going from thicker to the thinnest at the top, but the tuning is the same. The notes are the same as I would tune regularly. So from the sixth to the first are E, A, D, G, B, E. Obviously, to do that, try not to do what I did originally, just to take the strings and flip them, because you're going to break a couple of the strings. 46, 32, 17, 26, 16, and 11. What I actually did, because I had this acoustic guitar, I might try it on electric as well, but I had this acoustic guitar just sitting around, and I basically flipped the strings, and I kept the thick E, the low E, which now sits in the first position, and then I kept the G, the original G, B, and E, which now are tuned to different notes, and I tuned them obviously to E, A, and D. E, A, and D. You have to change the string size to the ones I had a 16, and because this is an 1152 set, so I had a 16 and a 32. They seem to work. So this is a bit of a mixed set, so to speak. It's stuff that I had kicking around. So you go from E, A, D, then you have G, and this is where there's a step. You go back into a higher note, and then I have B and low E. So we can keep the same scale shapes, but obviously because I go now from a higher note to a lower note with some steps, because obviously, again, between the two middle string, I go, I flip into a different register, so to speak. That will not make too much sense, so to speak, but this is A major. That sounded interesting to me. So I'll be interested to see how this works if I recorded two guitars, let's say one in regular tuning and one in inverted tuning, and see how they would work together. Because obviously this, like in most open tunings, it kind of opens up some new possibilities in terms of the order of the notes within an arpeggio, so to speak. One thing that I find is obviously that the balance, because obviously the thicker strings are at the bottom now, sometimes you want to hit the thinner strings a bit harder to get the same volume as the lower strings, because obviously this is flipped, so that balance changes a little bit. So yeah, something to get used to, I guess. But apart from that, I think I'm going to try and keep the guitar tuned like this for a few days and see if I can come up with something interesting. Okay, so yeah, give this a try. I thought it was worth making a short video because it sounded interesting. And I will link all things down in a pinned comment, as always. Always check that. Well, I hope this was interesting, and leave a comment and subscribe, share, all that stuff. Take care.